Hello everyone, welcome to Kansas Future What's Up Chiefs Kingdom. Welcome to the channel, your go-to spot for the latest news, analysis, and all the buzz about our beloved Kansas City Chiefs. Today, I've got something really special for you. We're about to witness a moment that could go down as one of the greatest in franchise history. That's right, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are on the verge of doing something unbelievable and rewriting the Chiefs' record books. And you know what's even better? It could all happen in the next game against the Raiders on Black Friday. Before we dive into the details, make sure to hit that like button because your support helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to bring you more content. And of course, subscribe and turn on notifications because the season is heating up and you don't want to miss a thing. Now, without further ado, let's talk about how Mahomes and Kelce could make history and why this moment is so important for all of us who love the Chiefs. Building the anticipation, picture this. You're watching the game at Arrowhead Stadium, that magical place where every cheer from the crowd echoes like thunder. The Chiefs are in the red zone. Mahomes drops back, scans the field, and finds Travis Kelce for the touchdown. Now imagine this, with that single pass, Mahomes becomes the all-time leader in passing touchdowns for the Chiefs, and Kelce breaks the franchise record for touchdown receptions. One play, two historic records. That's exactly what could happen against the Raiders, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this could go down as one of the most legendary moments in franchise history, not just for the Chiefs, but in the NFL as a whole. Want to know what got Mahomes and Kelce to the brink of this historic moment? Let's dive into their story together. The Chiefs' historic context. To truly grasp the magnitude of what's happening, we need to take a trip down memory lane. Let's start with Len Dawson. For younger fans, Dawson is one of the greatest legends of the Chiefs, having led the team to its first Super Bowl title in 1970. He wasn't just a great quarterback, he was the face of the franchise for decades. When you think of the Chiefs, Dawson has always been the gold standard of excellence. With 237 touchdown passes, Dawson held that record for over 50 years. And now, Patrick Mahomes, with just 6 seasons as a starter, is about to surpass him. This is simply surreal. Think about it. Dawson needed 13 seasons to reach that number. Mahomes is doing it in less than half the time. Now, let's talk about Tony Gonzalez. Widely considered the greatest tight end in NFL history, Gonzalez was a force of nature who redefined the tight end position. His record of 76 touchdown receptions seemed untouchable until Travis Kelce came along. Not only is Kelce on the verge of breaking Gonzalez's record, but he's already surpassed the Hall of Famer in total receptions and receiving yards in Chiefs history. It's safe to say that Kelce isn't just carrying the torch from Gonzalez. He's forging a new legacy, one that might even outshine his predecessor. The rise of Mahomes and Kelce. Now that we understand the gravity of the records at stake, let's talk about the journey that brought Mahomes and Kelce to this point. Patrick Mahomes arrived at the Chiefs as a bold gamble by head coach Andy Reid and general manager Brett Veach. They saw something in him that many other teams overlooked. From the moment he took over as the starter, Mahomes proved he was different. He's not just a quarterback, he's a revolution in the game. Sidearm throws, quick defensive reads, and that uncanny ability to create magic out of nowhere. Mahomes has redefined what we expect from a modern QB. And then there's Travis Kelce, who started his career with far less fanfare. He was a third-round pick, but he quickly showed he had something special. His combination of strength, speed, and route-running ability made him a unique offensive weapon. But what truly sets Kelce apart is his football IQ and his chemistry with Mahomes. It's as if they have a telepathic connection. Chiefs culture, it's impossible to talk about the success of this duo without mentioning Andy Reid. Big Red has built an offensive system that maximizes his players' talents. He gives Mahomes the freedom to improvise and puts Kelce in situations where he can thrive. More than that, Reid has created a winning culture. It's not just about winning games, it's about building a dynasty. Let's be honest, fans, we're living in the golden era of the Chiefs. If you've been a long-time supporter, you know how tough things were before Reid, Mahomes, and Kelce arrived. But now we're favorites nearly every season, and that's no accident. It's the result of consistent work and, of course, the incredible talent of this duo. Historical comparisons, where Mahomes and Kelce stand. When we talk about legendary NFL duos, names like Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, and Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski come to mind. But where do Mahomes and Kelce fit into this list? In terms of numbers, they're already among the best. But what truly sets them apart is their consistency and impact in clutch moments. When the Chiefs need a big play, it's almost always this duo that delivers. Whether it's the playoffs, the Super Bowl, or a critical regular season game, Mahomes and Kelce rise to the occasion time and time again. The Black Friday moment, now let's bring it back to the present. The Chiefs are facing the Raiders, a division rival that always makes for exciting games. Beyond the rivalry, there's something special about a game on Black Friday. It's the perfect stage for Mahomes and Kelce to shine. Picture the scene, a packed Arrowhead Stadium, the crowd roaring, and the opportunity to break two of the biggest records in franchise history. This is the kind of moment that turns great players into eternal legends. And honestly, is there anything more satisfying than breaking historic records against the Raiders? I don't think so. The importance of the game and the season ahead. This game isn't just about records, it's a chance to maintain momentum in a season that has all the makings of something special. The Chiefs are on track to once again secure the top seed in the AFC, which means a first-round bye in the playoffs. But Mahomes and Kelce know they can't get complacent. They understand that to achieve the ultimate goal, a third Super Bowl in 4 years, every game matters. That mindset is what sets them apart. They don't play for stats, they play to win. Always. Hey Chiefs Kingdom. The legendary Kurt Warner, Super Bowl champion and a true encyclopedia of football knowledge, had some thoughts on Patrick Mahomes. Let me tell you, his words will leave you feeling a mix of relief and reflection. Did Warner defend our quarterback, or do the criticisms still weigh heavily on number 15? In this video, I'll share everything Warner said, back it up with stats that might change your perspective on Mahomes' current form, and break down our QB's season so far. Spoiler alert, there are plenty of surprises and a few concerns that still have the fan base on edge. Before we dive in, smash that like button to support the channel. Your likes help us keep bringing you exclusive news and in-depth analysis. And if you're new here, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing about the Chiefs. Let's get started. What's happening with the Chiefs' offense? Let's start with the basics. The Chiefs have a positive record and are leading the AFC, but their last game against the Carolina Panthers left many fans scratching their heads. Beating a 3-8 team by such a narrow margin isn't what we expect from a team with Super Bowl aspirations. And here's the big question. What's happening with the Chiefs' offense? Patrick Mahomes hasn't been delivering those jaw-dropping numbers we're used to. Is it his fault, or is the problem elsewhere? To find out, we need to consider the pressure Mahomes is under. He's the highest paid player in the NFL, and with that comes enormous expectations. On top of that, teams like the Bills and Ravens are hot on the Chiefs' heels, aiming for that top AFC spot. Any slip-up now could be costly. Kurt Warner's take on Mahomes, right in the middle of this debate. Kurt Warner, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, stepped forward with an analysis that sent shockwaves through the football world. On November 25th, Warner took to social media to share a direct message about Mahomes. Here's what he said. I know Patrick Mahomes might not have the stats we're used to, or the offense might not be meeting expectations, but until you watch the tape every week and understand what he's actually doing play by play, you have no idea how good this guy really is. He continued. He consistently makes the play at the moment, whether it shows up as impressive in the stat book or not. This statement divided opinions. Many Chiefs fans felt relieved to see a legendary player like Warner defending Mahomes, but others questioned whether this was just a way to sugarcoat the real issues in the Chiefs' offense. Stats aren't the whole story. Warner also brought up an interesting point. Sometimes stats don't tell the full story. And if anyone understands that, it's Warner. During his career, Warner went through periods where the numbers didn't look great, but context told a different story. From 2002 to 2006, his stats weren't always impressive, but that didn't mean he wasn't playing at a high level. Factors like weak teams, injuries, and a lack of surrounding talent all played a role. Now, let's ask the question, could Mahomes be facing something similar? Are criticisms of him failing to consider the bigger picture, breaking it down? The Chiefs' offense has had its struggles this season, but is Mahomes to blame? Let's analyze. Offensive line challenges. Mahomes has faced significant pressure in the pocket this season. Opposing defenses have adapted, and the offensive line hasn't always held up, forcing Mahomes to improvise more often than usual. Receiving corps issues. Outside of Travis Kelce, the Chiefs' wide receivers have struggled with drops and inconsistent play. Without reliable targets, Mahomes has had to make risky throws or settle for smaller gains. Contextual greatness. Even with these challenges, Mahomes continues to make crucial plays in key moments. His football IQ, leadership, and ability to adapt under pressure remain unmatched. Is Patrick Mahomes being unfairly criticized? Hey Chiefs Kingdom, let's dive into an analysis of Patrick Mahomes' 2024 season so far. According to Pro Football Reference, Mahomes started this season relatively slow. In his first 7 games, he didn't throw for 3 touchdowns in any of them, a rare occurrence for a quarterback of his caliber. However, in recent weeks, we've seen a more aggressive Mahomes. Since the game against the Raiders, he's thrown 3 touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games. This shift shows that he's peaking at the right time, just as the playoffs approach. The role of the receiving corps. Let's talk about the receivers. The arrival of DeAndre Hopkins has undoubtedly been a positive factor. The connection between Mahomes and Hopkins is growing and could be the key to the Chiefs' playoff success. That said, the truth is that the Chiefs' receiving corps as a whole still doesn't inspire much confidence. Outside of Travis Kelce, consistency has been an issue. And here's a tough question. Is the Chiefs' offense relying too much on Mahomes to solve everything on his own? Are we expecting him to be perfect all the time? Think about that. Comparing 2023 to 2024, if we compare this point in the season to 2023, Mahomes had fewer touchdowns and more interceptions last year. Statistically, he's performing better now. But why does it feel like he's underperforming? The answer lies in execution. In 2023, even with lower numbers, the Chiefs' offense seemed more in sync. In 2024, we've seen more drops, missed routes, occasionally questionable decisions from Mahomes. Is Mahomes feeling the pressure, or is the problem elsewhere? Adapting to a league of adjustments. Let's remember, the NFL is a league of adjustments. Opponents have been studying Mahomes for years and have found ways to make life difficult for him. The challenge now is how he'll adapt. As Kurt Warner pointed out, stats don't always tell the whole story. Mahomes is a unique player who makes a difference, even when the numbers aren't flashy. His ability to improvise and make plays that no one else can is unparalleled. But in the NFL, numbers still matter. They measure consistency and impact. And while Mahomes isn't delivering the same stats as in his best seasons, that doesn't necessarily mean he's worse. It does, however, highlight that the Chiefs' offense still has areas that need improvement. Let's hear from you, Chiefs Kingdom. So Chiefs Kingdom, what do you think? Is Patrick Mahomes being unfairly criticized, or are the doubts legitimate? C.T. Warner's statement brings an important perspective. Mahomes is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, even when the stats aren't as flashy. But the NFL is ruthless, and any mistakes from now on could be costly. Can Mahomes silence the critics once again? His track record suggests he will, but only time will tell. And guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment. See you in the next video.